By 2030, 20% of the US population will be age 65 or older. Join me and Jenna Perese, who's the manager of franchise development for Homewatch CareGivers, as we explore their franchise, and you can explore your passion and also make a good living while doing it. Build your franchise empire. Please like, subscribe, share. And if you're interested in knowing more in pursuing this particular franchise brand, please click on the link and schedule a conversation with me, and I'll help you every step of the way. Thank you for joining us here on the Successful Franchisee's Beautiful View. And today I am so honored to have Jenna Perese out of the Philadelphia area. She is the Director of Franchise Development. Did I get that right?
Franchise development manager, but that works
There
too.
we go. Okay. I gave you a
Thanks.
promotion. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
For Homewatch CareGivers, which is a brand under Authority Brands. And I met Jenna a few weeks ago. She was giving another seminar kind of talk, and just very interested in this space, not only for my personal reasons, but also because this is so important for our aging population, and also for those folks who have difficulty, whether it's through a surgery or whatever situation they find themselves in, to be able to take care of themselves. Jenna, her background is in editing. I saw that you were a newspaper and magazine editor for back in your college days. And
Yeah.
Jenna, if you could just give everybody a little introduction on how you got into the franchise space from the marketing and editing.
Yeah. So starting from college, my background was in marketing. And really after college, my first job was with Clear Channel Outdoor in the outdoor advertising space. So really helping our account executives pitching to their clients. So, having all the sales and marketing collateral ready for them. And I came across an opportunity with another large brand, Rita's Italian Ice, which is based out of the Philly area, and happened to stumble upon it by accident, just being a fan of the brand but not knowing that it was a franchise because you know be announced to me, thinking a franchise was just, Burger King and McDonald's, right? Like I think a lot of people think about when they first, get into it, but really was able to grow within the organization and really start to begin the journey with entrepreneurs looking at, franchising through business ownership and just being able to share and go through the discovery process with them. So started on the food and beverage side and then came over to Authority Brands a couple years back, and started to work with some of our amazing brands that we have. And then 2 years ago had the opportunity to work exclusively with Homewatch CareGivers. And personally, I think that for me, having a passion for what our owners do and what our brand does every day, coming from personal story of being a caregiver for my parents. And I think a lot of people that I speak with every day also have a similar story of dealing with an aging parent or loved one that they've been that personal caregiver. So it truly does resonate with many people.
Yeah, outstanding. And what is it about Homewatch CareGivers that really sets you apart? Because there are a lot of players in the caregiving space, but what really sets Homewatch CareGivers apart?
Yeah, really looking at what sets us apart is really our technology and how we've really been able to use technology in the space and be innovative. We've really redeveloped our care plans and really having it all with under our total care solutions, Homewatch CareGivers Total Care Solutions. And we've developed a proprietary technology that truly allows, the client that is 90 plus miles away from their adult children to be able to connect with them virtually along with medical providers. And so it really allows that opportunity because we know 77% over the people aged 55, they want to age in place. So it's about how can we start that process, maybe even well before they need individual care in the home, where we can, begin with technology and having that, virtual interaction with them, and they can have it with family, through their television, and really build on their care plan and really build it more into a subscription-based model based on all the other care levels that we offer, depending on what a client needs.
Yeah, outstanding. And if you could give a little idea of what an average day would look like for your franchise owner.
Yeah. So there's two main roles with a home care organization. So when you look at the two main functions, you have operations. That person is really overseeing client services and caregivers, obviously those that'll be going out and taking care of the clients. But there's also such a huge, integral part of relationship building and community outreach coordination with this role. So those are two different roles. So depending on where the franchise owner feels their suits are strongest, right? Kind of gravitating towards one of those roles and hiring for the other. But really, this is very much all about relationships not only with clients, their family members, loved ones, but also the community and the different referral partners from a client acquisition perspective.
Mhm. Franchising is all about community in my book.
Hmm.
So I'm really glad to see y'all are doing that. Um, so what type of clients are your franchise owners working with for the most part?
Yeah, great question. So I would say about two-thirds of the business overall is senior care. So working with those over the age of 65, whether they, need help around the house, or they're, getting home from major surgery, or just needing help in their daily activities, grooming and hygiene care assistance and mobility assistance. But there is that other third of home care users that there is a huge opportunity to unlock. So when you think about anyone recovering post-surgery, mothers postpartum, young military veterans, children with intellectual and developmental disabilities, those are all different people that do also need home care services in different ways and at different times in their lives. So it truly does present an opportunity to help anyone that does need home care.
Very good. And since you've been in it for a couple of years, you've been able to see successes and those not as successful. What makes a very successful franchise owner for Homewatch Caregivers?
Certainly someone that's willing, first and foremost, to follow a franchise system, right? If it's someone that's not looking to build the success based off of the proven system over 40 years old, right? Not being able to take advantage of that's super significant to operating, being receptive to all of our support that we provide at our franchise support center out there in Denver and Colorado. But really those that have a passion to support others. This is a different type of home service, in my opinion, not as much transactional, but we're dealing with people, right, at very vulnerable stages at many times in their life. And so leading with that compassion and service for others at the forefront, and then obviously looking to build a big business at the same time. So those that are looking for that opportunity to build generational wealth for their family. There's plenty of stories that we have with, children taking over the business from their parents after 20 years that, so there's a lot of those great stories and how franchising can really, create that generational wealth. But, you know, really just being a focal point of being involved in the community and having that, community facing presence is really important for this role.
And roughly what percentage of your franchise owners are multi-unit?
About 50%, about half
50%.
are. Hmm.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
And what kind of support can your franchise partners expect from the corporate offices?
So we really have how we've separated our support structure. It's a team of subject matter experts. So they're really going to get top-notch expertise in all the different areas of the business, training, marketing, operations, licensing. Obviously, with home care, you're dealing with licensing and regulation. So they need help in how do I navigate that? What does that look like? So it's not only as they launch their business, but throughout the entire time that they're with Homewatch Caregivers. And not only do they have the support of our support center, you also have to look at the value of the franchise network, right? There's over 130 owners, 250 plus territories. There's so many opportunities to network with other franchise owners within the organization that are willing to help and mentor each other. And we have a lot of different programs to really help support and facilitate that. So that's, another huge advantage of the franchise too.
Outstanding. And what would you say are the greatest challenges right now for a franchise owner of Homewatch Caregivers?
I would say, as we look at the next 10 plus years, I mean, as we gravitate towards 2030, we're looking at a huge shift in the 60 and over population, looking to outnumber 20 and under. And so it's about finding the supply to meet that demand. And that's not only in home care, but in healthcare in general and in many different industries within it. So it really comes down to building the team and also looking to retain them, right? Like, what are the best practices to recruit, but also retain your staff and really have that meaningful appreciation and really building that culture within your organization. And we have a dedicated team that really helps support that, our workforce solutions team at Homewatch Caregivers. So that's really a huge focus for us because we know that that can be an area where a lot of support is needed for our franchisees.
It kind of sounds like there's a lead generation process for the caregivers, just like there would be for getting clients into the home watch.
Right. There's absolutely processes for client acquisition and also recruitment and retention as well.
Yeah, good. Well, now I know Home Watch Caregivers is under the Authority Brands umbrella.
Yeah.
Tell me how all those 16, I believe there were different that my last count was 16 different
Yeah.
brands. How do they all work together? How do they complement each other?
Yeah. So a lot of the brands originated on their own, right? They existed long time prior. I mean, Homewatch started in 1980, but back in 2017, really started with one of the brands, the Cleaning Authority, that really started the impetus for Authority Brands. And then Homewatch Caregivers was that first acquisition. So really, we're looking to fulfill that niche in the home services category. And quite honestly, there's so many synergies within home services. When you talk about cross-pollination of clients, referrals for marketing, and not only that, but really the buying power, for our franchisees. We do have a company within Authority Brands called Bimax, and they help to support all of the brands, all of the franchise owners to help, with insurance, fleet vehicles, anything that you can think of for the business, any, third party vendors. So going through those partnerships, vetting them, getting discounted services. So there's a lot of buying power that's been able to be capitalized on with all of our brands. And I know, just even speaking from Homewatch Caregivers, I mean, a lot of times, you'll be dealing with a client and they might also need cleaning services. And they might also, have an issue where, hey, their plumbing breaks. And then we have the adult child calling the local office saying, hey, I don't live nearby. My mom just called me, the air conditioner broke. Do you know an HVAC person? Right. And so it really presents that opportunity and that synergy to help support with those coordination of services given our family of brands.
Hmm. And earlier we talked about half of the franchise partners are multi-unit,
Hmm.
but within Authority Brands, how many of those franchise partners have diversified between different brands and
That's a
own
great
multiple brands?
question. I don't know the statistic for all the brands. I know that we have two owners specifically that have diversified, and there's obviously incentives to be able to do that. And obviously, again, just from, clients and even recruitment for staff as well. but we see it a lot on our trades brands. So Mr. Sparky Electric, Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, 1 Hour Heating and Air. So there's a lot of tri brand owners over on that side. So we're definitely looking to see it more and more as owners look to expand and truly diversify and build their empire, so to speak.
Outstanding. What haven't I asked you that you'd like the listeners to and viewers to know about Homewatch Caregivers and Authority Brands?
I think we touched at least all the high points that we wanted to cover for this, opportunity together, but really just looking to dive deeper with those that are interested on truly how we are differentiating ourselves in the home care industry with utilizing technology. That's really the biggest point for us and how and what really sets us apart.
The franchise brand is only as successful as its franchisees.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about your vetting process to bring people into the Homewatch Caregivers.
Yeah, and that's so true, Luke. I mean, because we have a vested interest and you'll also never hear us call ourselves corporate. We never refer to ourselves as corporate. We're the franchise support center because we're in business for our franchisees. We're in business to support them. They're not in business for us, right? There's a partnership. And so when we work with candidates, we want to make sure that that partnership's going to be equal on both sides. So what we take candidates through a 9-step process, generally lasting about, 60 days or so to really help them understand, the business model, obviously the financial potential, speaking with franchise owners, touching on the regulations piece if their state has regulations, and everything culminates with meeting our team. And that's obviously an important part because if you're going to get into this, 10-year marriage, right, essentially, you want to make sure that you like the family,
Mhm.
right? So coming out to Denver and Colorado, meeting our team, and just making sure that that aligns on both sides and looking to move forward in the partnership. So it definitely is a mutual discovery process that we will go through to make sure that we're finding the right franchise partners.
Jenna, thank you so much for joining me today. I certainly appreciate it. And thank you all for watching this episode of the Successful Franchisee's Beautiful View. Stay safe and win every day.